Most of our guests are from PCMB background. Even I am from PCMB background. So
Yeah,
we are,
this in the background.
yeah. So we all are
Yeah, most
in
of
tech
them,
now.
yeah, it's like someone said to me that biology is like lover, but we married engineering like that. So it's a bit complicated.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Podcast One on One with Sumuk. Today we have Arjun Arun with us, who is intern at Western Digital. Welcome to the podcast, Arjun.
Sumuk and I all who are listening to this podcast. And as Sumuk introduced, my name is Arjun Arun. I'm from Mysore and studied my BE in Vidyavadaka College of Engineering, and now doing my interning in Western Digital. Yeah,
Yeah. How are you?
that's a short and brief introduction
Yeah.
about me. I'm
Thanks
fine.
for introduction.
How are you, Sumuk?
Yeah, I'm also good. Great, great. So let's start with your first question. So what is your motivation to join engineering? Why did you choose engineering?
Mostly, I have to say this. First, I did my PU in biology actually in Alvas PU College, Mode B3, as most of them know it. It's Alvas. So there I was mostly interested in biology, but in there my sister who did computer science engineering, she got into the I got into the interest of that engineering through my sister. About C++ and all, and she taught me some basic programs about printing the 100 1 to 100 in that in PU only. So after that, I got more interest in computer science basically.
Most of our guests are from PCMB background. Even I am from PCMB background.
Yeah,
So we are,
this in the background.
yeah. So we all are
Yeah, most
in
of
tech
them,
now.
yeah, it's like someone said to me that biology is like lover, but we married engineering like that. So it's a bit complicated.
Yeah. So, like you said, you started your coding when your sister gave how to program to print 1 to 100. So, is that the first time you coded? Is that the time you started your coding journey? When did you started your coding journey?
After that, she taught me some basic programming in C. That's it. After that, I got to know in the second sem, where we as like a proper C language coding, and that by that thing I got to learn more about the coding, proper coding.
So you started coding from first year, actual coding.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. So, we all are from PCMB background, biology background. So, what did you find most challenging part when you joined engineering, and how did you overcome that?
uh, I have to say this actually. When I was in the third sem, that is a branch entry for us, right? There first we got that our practical like internals. So that time I was a bit scared, but about coding and all, because I have not learned much in first PU and second PU, and we have started from like a second sem and all, and those coding in C was literally big, like 2 pages, 3 pages. So after that, I cope up with the first internal. I got really less marks in the first practical, C practical internal. So after that, I got if I start studying afterwards, I will get to know. If I sit idle about this coding and all, we I can't learn much about it. So I started learning, practicing coding in online platforms and all. So after that, I got to know about a bit much about the C languages. And the main thing was I was I have to learn the basics first, Before learning the basics, I can't go and learn many pretty big things. So I learned the basics of the C and the languages first. After that, I got more interested about other languages like Java and JavaScript, and all. That's it.
That's great. Foundations are very much important in any tech or any
Yeah,
field, because foundations
field,
lay
yeah,
down the other, like if we know the foundations, basic DSA, CN, DBMS, and basic C level programming,
yeah.
we can get to know about
Achieve
various stuff.
other.
Yeah. So you said you did
That
some
was
courses and YouTube tutorials and all. So what are the courses you took and where did you do?
like not like I did any courses, but I learned mostly using the YouTube, and there is one platform called Study Tonight. If you have
Okay.
heard, I guess. Study Tonight. In that platform, you will get all the tech related contents like C, C++, Java, computer networking, SQL, like every other thing, OS, and all the things are present in that platform, online platform, Study Tonight. And there are no videos in that, but if there is the like article type, so if I learn there, if anything is missing, if I don't like understand much about it, I would have to check in YouTube and all. So like that, I was learning about the basics of C and other things.
Great. So you started with YouTube tutorials, docs, and all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what did you suggest for new students who are entering engineering field who are from PCMB background, biology background?
Like there is one Academy YouTube tutorial, and another one is like Basecamp, I guess, Code Basecamp. Those two were the one, and Code with Nash. Another one is Code with Nash. He is the one who teaches us in 2 hours, like in a stretch of length, about one coding languages or something. Like in that, I have learned and repeated the videos, watching it, and I did it in my GitHubs and all. So like that, I learned about it.
Great, great, Arjun. So can you brief us about your 4 years of engineering? So what did your 4 years of engineering look like?
Like at the starting, I was a bit scared about it. Like we are from biology background, how can
Yeah,
we like learn coding after doing our biology? And but I would say that like we should not be scared at first. We should be morely focused on learning about the things. Some of them will learn fast, and some of them will learn slow. But uh, do not stop learning. So after that, I got to know about it in the first and second sem. We got to, like in the second, mainly in the second sem, we got to introduce to the C programming. After that, in third and fourth sem, we got to know about the DSA and SQL database and all. So after that, in the when we come to the third year, we were pretty much like we know about the coding and engineering languages and all. So I would suggest that in those 4 years, like nothing is impossible. From where also we can learn, and we can get much better in anything we can do. That's it. In that 4 years, we can sum up that.
great, great, Arjun. So you said how we need to start and what did you learn from 4 years of engineering? That's great, Arjun. So yeah, so how many problems you have solved in lead code, hacker rank, and others?
The like mostly I've solved in Akka rank actually. I have not did much in lead code. Like in Akka rank, you can go through basic, intermediate, and like complex questions. Uh, one like I have solved much of the basic and intermediate one, and I'm still going with like one or two complex one, I guess. So I'm still going with basic and intermediate, and after that I'm going with complex problems in the hacker rank. Not in the lead code, I have not coded much in lead code. Most of the basics ones I have solved in lead code, but mostly my preferable platform is hacker rank for me.
Yeah, HackerRank is also good. Like they have various problems on SQL, Java, C, Python, and various programming
Yeah,
languages. So like
yeah,
when one
like they
should,
have divided with different concepts also.
yeah,
So you can, if you have learned that concept, you can like execute it through that concept in that hacker. So, and another one is Code Chef, I guess. Another
yeah,
similar pattern platform. So you can also learn in that Code Chef also. It is also much better.
yeah. CodeChef and HackerRank are better. So like when did you started
Yeah, yeah.
your DSA and when did you started learning and solving problems in HackerRank and CodeChef?
Uh, we got introduced for the DSA in the third sem actually. We got to learn like stacks, queues, trees, graphs, and all. So basically, after learning, I started some basic like coding in the Akaran. After that, in the fourth sem, I got fully like executing the programs that I learned in the DSA and all. So I would say that after fourth semester.
After after third and fourth semesters, you have started
Yeah,
lead code and
yeah. Uh, like
so like
before third sem and all, I didn't know there is a platform to learn coding and all. Like uh, that thing is present and all. After third sem, my teacher said that there is a coding platform where you can learn much better with the coding. Don't just learn the program and all. If you start coding and learning through this website, you'll get much more knowledge about the DSA and other things. So I started doing the basic coding programs and the intermediate in the Akaran.
great. Actually, when we learn DSA, it will be a theory. Like when we solve problems, it will be a practical way, and we will remember DSA for long time.
Yeah.
So, like,
Uh,
if I'm just starting with engineering, when should I start with DSA and HackerRank?
like basically after my thinking is basically after second sem actually. If you start earlier, you can get to know more about and you can start to learn more things about it. So I would say like us for us after biology, coming from biology, it's better to start from second sem actually. Most of them from CS background would have started from second year or first year of their PU. So for the person who has done biology in PU and entered into the engineering, I would suggest that they would start learning the DSA and start coding in some platforms in the second sem itself, so they can like learn basic things before going to the branch entry, where they could get the knowledge much earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Like if we start early, we can get to know much better things, and we can be like get to know better things.
uh, if they learn more in the second sem about the DSA and all, in the third sem they would not get DSA as a foreign language. So if they start learning in second sem, they would get to know more about the DSA when they got to the branch entry, and they could also like understand what teacher teaches at an instant.
Yeah.
So that's why I said we should learn in the second sem only or first sem if they are more interested in.
Yeah, it will be easier for them when they come to third sem or fourth sem when they learn actual DSA
Yeah,
from the college.
yeah. and they could analyze things what's going correct and how it's done and all. So it
Yeah.
might be much better.
Yeah. So, do you recommend any number of questions we should solve by end of fourth year, like 200, 300 questions? What is the recommended level of questions? And yeah,
Uh, like I would not recommend it actually. Like it's not the main thing. Uh, like if we solve 400 questions, we will get into the job, or if we don't solve any question, we can get, like, it differs.
yeah,
Basically, we in the hacker rank you can get it through, like, in through Google on something. Some of the
yeah,
answers you can get it through Google. If using that, if the person solves 300 400 questions, there is no use.
yeah,
He has to learn the basic things and how to code and all. So like I would not much recommend it, like solve 400 question, like solve 300 questions and all. But he has to, if we solve 20 or 100 questions, we should know how to code in that, how the logic works
yeah,
in that questions. You should understand that before, without understanding, if we solve that questions, it is not much appreciable.
yeah,
So if we solve less also, but you should understand the logic behind it, how it works, and which loop or which complexity he has to use it to make the code much better. That would be the more legitimate like thing to consider.
yeah, that's true. Like solving 400 questions without knowing any logic and behind and failing in interviews is bad. And instead, if we can solve a legitimate, like genuine, like 150 questions and get to know like basic foundations and to intermediate level and solve in interview is better, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, which programming language do you prefer for solving these problems or programs? Like, is it C++,
Hello.
Python, or JavaScript?
Like at the starting, I used to solve in C because I only knew that language only at the starting. But nowadays I'm doing it with Python actually, Python or JavaScript. So uh, the languages, like the programming languages, if the person chooses a programming languages, it should be Python, which is easy to code in that. So I chose Python much than C. So for the basic knowledge and basic learning, you can learn C for that, and afterwards you can switch it to Python. It's like much easier to code.
Yeah. So, like, so do you prefer Python over any C++ or Java, right?
I learned
Java.
C, Java, and Python, JavaScript.
Okay.
So Java is also it's good, but it's bit lengthy. If you try to code with it, you will lose like temper with it. It's much bit lengthy for that Java. So I would prefer coding in Python.
Python. So, where did you learn Python? Which courses or any YouTube tutorials, docs you recommend?
Like first I learned Python through our practical classes that was done in fourth semester. So I got to know more about the Python as that. And after that I learned through YouTube tutorials, like that one I mentioned earlier. Through that like tutorials, and after that I learned like the basic things about the tuples and other things and all, functions and the constructor and all. So that one I learned mainly basically in Study Tonight. It's a brilliant platform for the students to learn new languages and all. They start with the basic thing, starting from like simply printing the word like that, to do more complex things. So I would recommend Study Tonight, through which the students or my juniors can learn their coding languages. And it also has other than coding languages, such as as I mentioned, computer networking, like OS and SQL and other things also, which are complete learning for the engineering student. So I would recommend Study Tonight.
Great, Arjun. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah.
So, like, how many projects you have done till engineering, like 4 years of engineering? This is one of the questions from our audience.
I've done like 7, 8, I guess. One, two I have done through IoT, and one most of them are websites, and one was a large last one, final year project. Like 7, 8 projects I have done
So also they were
throughout my
asked
engineering.
that's great, Arjun. So you have made various mini projects and major projects, like 8 of them is very good number.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, what is the basic skill that we need to do a project? Like, if I want to do a minimum viable product or a project or MVP project, a small project, what is the basic skills I need to have?
Pretty much basic thing is, if you are creating a website, you have to learn like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, CSS is basic thing. If you learn it, it's much bit basic about it. If you add a JavaScript to it, it will be much better and all. After you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can go with React. Using
Okay.
React or Angular, if some other person is comfortable with Angular or React. So using React, you can build a much better website than you create through HTML and CSS for the website. And for the IoT project, you basically have to learn embedded C. So using that, you can go through the Arduino Uno R3 or Raspberry Pi modules. Basic thing is embedded C. It's not bit complicated, that embedded C. It's much better. So I would recommend that if they are creating a website and all, or any other mini projects, they should go with these things.
Yeah. Thanks for the suggestions, Arjun. That's great. So, like, when did you started your
Yeah.
placement preparation?
So our actually our college started with the placement preparation. They like did 1 week like tutorials with calling other people and teaching us more about the coding, uh, more about the interview process. Like there is an assessment, group discussion, and we took some mock group discussion and all. Like we
Yeah.
got to know about what real group discussion mainly done, how it's done and all. So they also did some assessments, basic assignment things and all. So through that, I also started doing my, like, learning basic aptitude uh, work. Like they also created some things like mainly Bizotic. Actually, Bizotic was the company name. They used to give us the test every week for the
Yeah.
aptitude. So through that, I got to learn more about the aptitude things and learn about it. It was a basic thing. First, we have to clear the aptitude test, right? So after that, you can move on to the interviews and all. So through that Bizotic, I got to learn more about the aptitude things. After that, I have to dig back to my basics about the Java, Python, or C. So use learning that and going through that stuff, I got more knowledge and more thinking and basic programs and all. So through which, like, by the fifth sem or by the starting of sixth sem, I got to the preparation of interviews.
That's great. So you started from 6 sem or 7 sem, right?
Yeah. 6 sem, 6 sem.
6 sem. So like
Yeah.
when one should start his or her placement preparation?
Yeah, you could start from fifth sem, I guess, or at the starting of sixth sem. So they can learn more about the concepts and all. They have to be much stronger when they are going through the interview.
Yeah,
So they have to be they have to learn more. They have to dig deep through the concepts and all. So for that, they have to start preparing for the interviews and all at the starting of sixth or in the fifth sem. So they have a lot to cover through the interview. Some of the interviewers can ask through the operating systems and all,
yeah,
or like in the computer networks or SQL. So they have lot to cover and lot to learn things. So I would suggest that in the starting of the sixth sem or in the fifth sem, they should start preparing for the placement, and they should start speaking and all in the English. Most of them are a bit scared while talking through the to the interviewer, and that mainly uh, breaks the thing that the interviewer thinks that he is not much prepared to talk with them. So I would suggest they should start learn talking and speaking much in front of the other interviewers and all. So I would suggest in the start of 6 sem or 5th.
yeah. So there is one doubt from audience or juniors or everyone who are in engineering. Like if I have a 7 CGPA or less than 8.5, can I get a placement job or internship?
Yeah, 8.5 is better, I guess. 7, if they have 7 CGPA, if they are basics and coding is strong enough that they can get through the placement, then it's good. If like I would prefer that if they score better than 8 CGPA, it would be much help for them to go through the interview process. Like most of the companies prefer students with 7.5 CGPA.
Yeah,
There is filtration where they only allow the students with more than 7.5 CGPA or 8 CGPA and all. Preferring to the company, it differs. So I would suggest if they have more than 7.5 CGPA, it is much better. And if they have 7 also, and they have good coding skills, and they have good speaking, and they are more better in leadership and all, then they can get through the placement.
yeah, that's true. Communication is also important in interview.
Yeah,
So
some of them will get scared and all, so that's not necessary.
yeah, we should not be scared and we should be confident enough to speak out our what we learned in college and what are our skills in front of interview.
uh,
That's great, Arjun. So you have explained all the things what we need to do, like from starting like assignment round, resume shortlisting, and projects discussion about projects, and managerial round and HR round. So, like, what is your suggestion or advice for juniors? One piece of advice.
so suggestion is mainly you have to first we have to create a resume which is much more appealing, and the person, the interviewer should like understand and analyze it within they have like 5 10 seconds to analyze through this, go through your resume. So they shouldn't be disappointed, or they should be like, this is like normal resume and all. So you have to create a resume which is more attractive. And attractive means it should not have much more color and photo and all,
Yeah.
but pretty basic resume with your like what you have done through these 4 years of engineering, and what have you learned, and pretty much basic things like projects, and like what you are mostly hobbies and all. So through that resume, you should know about you, the person. If he has not met the person and all, so you should know about the person through your resume. So I would suggest to create a resume which like represents your personality, which showcases your personality. So that's pretty basic. After that, most of the uh, things are done through the resume. You have, like, you have the picture, like the impressions built on the interviewer, that you have done this and what the projects and all you have done this. So you can carry on that impression through your confidence through in the interview. So you should not like react with the sad face and all through the interview. It demotivates the interviewer
Yeah.
to talk with you. You should be cheerful and be happy and more confident to what you answer. Sometimes most of the interviewer will cross check, or like uh, mess up with you, uh, like doing the say asking the same question again with reverse psychology. So you should be much more confident through the answer what you say. That's the advice I will give to my juniors.
Great, great. Thank you so much for your advice. So, like, if I am starting a engineering this year, and if I want to get a good placements with
Yeah.
good package, what should I do? A roadmap.
So I would recommend it by like at the start we have to learn the basic first. So most of the students don't learn the basic, and they would go and start learning, like they don't know the HTML and CSS, and they will go to doing much bigger stuff. So I would recommend it by doing the basic things, basic knowledge about Python, Java, JavaScript, or HTML, CSS, or other things, Java, any other thing. So what they are learning, and I would recommend them to learn one full programming language. Like if they have to learn Python, they have to learn. I would recommend them to learn whole Python programming language, not bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So if they try to learn the C, if they have to learn whole C actually, like that, one programming language, and with that some basics of other programming languages. So it would be much better for them to go with the interview and all. Like most of the interviewer prefer what they have learned. I would recommend that they have to learn one common programming language, and some of with that some of the basics of other languages. So it would be much better for the person to understand other languages also, and they have the old with one programming language they can code with. And other things that other than academics, they have to be much better in the co-curriculum, like they are, it showcases their working stance, and the leadership they are taking with. So if they are only going through the academics, uh, I would recommend that it is not agreeable with the person who is taking this interview. So they have to do other co-curricular activities which showcases their leadership and working what they have done and all. So it would also carry same a bit weight with them to showcase that this is what I've done through my leadership and all. So that would like make the interviewer count on it. So he could
Yeah,
also do some leadership skills, so we should have it. And mostly the communication skill. So the person should also have better communication skills. In the corporate it is much needed. Through his communication skills only he can express what he has done, and what he can do it with resources that they have provided and all. So I would recommend these three, like the basic coding and basic academic knowledge, co-curricular, and communication skills. So three basic things which could make my juniors or the one who is listening to the podcast or one who is starting the engineering now can get placed through the placements and interviews.
yeah, that's great advice and roadmap, Arjun. So, what is
Yeah.
your opinion about this podcast?
I would say it first. I got to know your podcast through Amog from our college. He's my friend actually. So through that, I got to know about your podcast, and I have listened to the podcast from then. So this is like through this podcast, the many juniors and many who are listening to the podcast, they can learn from many other persons who you are talking with or guests, and they can make some corrections what they are doing wrong through the engineering and what they have not achieved and all. So I would recommend it. This is the best podcast they can listen to about the tech, and what are the persons go through the engineering life, and what they have learned through those engineering lives and all. And they could learn from these, and they could not and they could achieve the same thing what they are ready to do. So I would recommend this podcast to learn, and who are tech uh, things.
Thank you so much, Arjun. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thank you.